by the sight of a single leaf slowly falling to the ground.
Oh, it's
As it reached its
magical.
destination, I realised it was one of thousands.
Yeah.
The colour palette leaned heavily into green and orange, like the Irish flag or the head of an Oompa Loompa.
Absent
Oh, yeah.
the English drizzle,
Oh
there
my
was
God.
something elevated, perhaps even magical about.
Sorry, I have to pause it there. You know what? America is beautiful no matter the season we are talking about. But in the fall, come on, it's incredible. Beautiful America strikes again. Today I'll be reacting to I was completely wrong about autumns in America. My friends, I'm super excited for this one. Autumn is actually my favorite season of the year. But before I go into that, let me ask you for one thing. If you can leave a like, thank you so much, is the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, well, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description, and let's play it. What?
Autumn is here. The
It is.
humidity of summer now a distant memory, like the tribulations of my youth or fidget spinners.
Okay, with all the respect, a distance memory, I would not say that, because I'm not sure how the weather is in America, but in Portugal it's still crazy hot.
I love autumns in the Midwest. It's a time when Americans come together to enjoy
Oh, wow.
pumpkins, quaff apple cider, and overdo it on the flannel shirts.
Sorry, I was about to pause on that background, but this one also works. My friends, you guys know what I'm about to say, right? Beautiful America strikes again. Look at the background. Oh, it's fantastic. Even the other one was also incredible. So green, all the colors. Do you guys like the fall? In this case, the autumn. I think it's one of the most beautiful seasons. If you agree with me, leave me a like or a comment, because, I don't know, it's a special season.
And overdo it on the flannel shirts. But when I first moved to the United States from England, my view of Midwestern autumn was quite different. You want to know why? Here's
Yeah.
Lawrence from 2008 to tell you why.
2008.
Hi, I'm Lawrence from 2008,
Okay.
a time when I had way better eyesight. One day, my wife and I were lying on a blow-up mattress at my parents' house, plotting an unexpected move to a country called the United States.
Back then,
Okay.
I was a wee little nipper. Some have speculated as young as 26. My worldview was so small it could fit inside a matchbox. Not literally, that would be really weird.
But like I said, I was 26. I thought I knew better than the very people who had guided me through my youth. You know, like my mom, my dad, Mr. Miyagi. I thought that I was
Mr. Miyagi.
making the right move, that life in the good old US of A would be a doddle, a walk in the park, a breeze. In my mind, all I'd have to do was show up, flash my accent, and America would make me their monarch. When I stepped off the plane, I found myself in the bountiful kingdom of Indiana. The date was November 10th, 2008, the middle of autumn, except something wasn't right.
And I'm not talking about the usual reasons that people feel that way when visiting Indiana. I'm talking about the weather. It was absolutely freezing. And I know what you're thinking. Ooh, Lawrence, why do the British always exaggerate the weather? But here's the thing, I wasn't. Historical weather records for Indianapolis confirm that my 11 p.m. arrival time coincided with temperatures of 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Quite literally the freezing point of water and nose hair.
Holy, at this time of the year? Man, that's surprising actually, my friends. So, my friends, the Midwest in terms of weather, am I crazy or is a bit aggressive? With all the respect, you know. I think it's a beautiful region in America, but seems like that there is a lot of extremes. Would you guys agree with that? But even in the autumn is crazy cold. Interesting.
Already alarm bells were going off, which is a particular problem when you're leaving an airport. This didn't feel like the autumns I'd always known. In fact, my initial belief was that things were completely and utterly a little bit not good.
Maybe it was an exception, to be fair, right? Oh, so beautiful. Wait, snowing?
Not 9 hours earlier, I'd been in London, where average November temperatures are typically 17 degrees warmer than those of my current predicament. It's often said that first impressions are everything. For a couple of years afterwards, I clung to the false notion that the Midwest didn't even have an autumn, that it cruelly transitioned from summer to winter, bringing November temperatures that aren't entirely fit for humans. But it turns out there were two glaring problems with this assessment. Firstly, the date of my arrival had simply seen an anomaly, with average November temperatures relatively on par with my hometown of Grimsby. Secondly, Indiana's actual winters make 32 degrees seem like a fortnight in Cancun, but that's another story. And so a few years later, I woke up one morning and went a bit heavy on the exposition. Right, so given that the Midwest doesn't not have autumns, I suppose that I, the chief protagonist of this story, have just realised that the Midwest does in fact have autumns. What are you looking at? Fine, but as the years rolled on, like this toilet paper falling down steps for some reason, I noticed something. Americans didn't just experience autumn, some made it their entire personality. They willingly consumed something by the name of pumpkin-laced souffle.
Pumpkin spice.
Okay, pumpkin spicy, pumpkin flavors, right? So someone, I reacted to a video about this, and someone told me in the comments that in the last 10 years, this is completely out of control. I cannot say if this is true or not, but basically that gentleman was telling me that there is a bunch of pumpkin flavors everywhere that even Americans are finding that weird at this point. Is this true? Don't be mad at me, I have no idea. This was a comment that I got.
Ice latte?
Same thing. Their homes became temporary showcases for the colour orange, largely so that their Instagram feeds could do the same. And real champions of autumn all had one thing in common. They all had doormats bearing the words "Happy Fall, y'all." As an English person, the sight of Americans worshipping at the altar of autumn was jarring at first. For me, the season had always been about moaning about damp leaves or burning effigies down at the beach, or sometimes both at the same time. But then I remembered something, a challenge I'd laid down to myself while I myself laid down on that mattress. When you move there, try to embrace everything that life throws at you, except raccoons. One day after leaving work, I decided to walk home via Lincoln Park rather than catching the L. I wanted to be by myself and shut out the world for a bit, so I put on my headphones and listened to something relaxing, like BBC Sounds number 24, for example. As the crisp autumn air filled my lungs, I became entranced by the sight of a single leaf slowly falling to the ground. As it reached its destination, I realised it was one of thousands. The colour palette leaned heavily into green and orange, like the Irish flag or the head of an Oompa Loompa. Absent the English drizzle, there was something elevated, perhaps even magical about...
Sorry, I have to pause it there. You know what? America is beautiful no matter the season we are talking about. But in the fall, come on, it's incredible. Beautiful America strikes again. My friend, the autumn is my favorite season. Would you guys agree with that? I don't know, maybe you guys prefer summer, spring, I have no idea. But I find in terms of natural beauty, you cannot beat the fall.
This American scene. In Indiana, where the leaves of Brown County are admittedly among the best in the Midwest, I didn't get out as much as I do in Chicago, at least not on foot. In Lincoln Park, those same feet moved through the leaves like wind from a panther's arse. Except the general aroma was pleasant, similar in nature to the autumns of my youth. Back home, there was always something particularly spellbinding about this time of year. It probably helped that Halloween, Guy Fawkes, and my birthday all fell within days of each other. And while Americans aren't...
I also was born in October, my friends, and probably that's one of the reasons I like the fall so much. But I love how many activities you guys have starting in October, going until the end of the year. And one of the memories I have that brings me some type of nostalgia for some reason is when the school starts more or less with the fall. And I remember going to school and breaking all the leaves with my foot. I love to do stuff like that.
Known for letting off fireworks on November 5th. The country is no stranger to autumn festivities in autumn. That last word was redundant. Between October 31st and December 31st, America turns into one giant party. You've got Halloween, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas Day, Kwanzaa, New Year's Eve, and the birthday of the greatest president of all time, Bill Pullman.
Best part of the year.
With such an array of festivities, it's little wonder that my own birthday often gets forgotten. In fact, in 2020, I even missed it myself. Mind you, of course, that was the year that a certain something spread around the world. Yep, monoliths.
Monoliths. Wait,
Do you not remember?
but for real, what the hell is that?
Strange monoliths started showing up around the globe. Actually, come to think of it, since the first one was spotted in Utah, I haven't been the same. It's like I've become this entirely different person, right? Always asking myself, am I really here? Do I actually exist? What exactly are hands?
No, my dear Lawrence, it wasn't the monoliths that did that. That was just some art students mucking about. The spell was cast on you by somebody else entirely.
What?
Been doing a lot of thinking recently, and I don't think that I can put this off any longer. I've decided that I'm going to change my name.
To what?
To Paul Pumpkin Cheeks. Now, I do realise that this might come as a shock to my audience, who will nonetheless appreciate the improvements to my face. But please reserve your judgment until the end, by which time I'll be gone and Lawrence will return. For now, I'm the embodiment, if you will, of autumn, at least in the eyes of this daft pillock. Basically, the backstory here is that Lawrence accidentally took a sip of pumpkin fried souffle.
Pumpkin spice latte?
And he instantly turned into Paul Pumpkin Cheeks. Now, while this might sound like his accent's changed, what do I do? Now, while this might sound like it were premeditated by somebody close to Lawrence, it did give the YouTube sensation the final jolt that he needed to finally embrace autumns in the Midwest. What I'm saying is it was premeditated by his wife.
The face comes and goes, almost literally at the minute. My journey from autumn denier to literal fall guy has been long, arduous, and fraught with cinnamon. But on reflection, when you take into account the oppressive humidity of the Midwestern summer, not to mention the cruel freeze of its wintry sister, fall represents something of a middle child, which is probably why I neglected it for so long. And just like the monoliths of 2020, the season completely disappears before you can say, open the pod bay door.
Okay, this video, the last part was kinda crazy. What? But for real, I love the autumn in America. It's so beautiful.
Why didn't you tell me I had my glasses on?
Okay. Friends, thank you so much for watching this with me. It really means a lot. I saw that Lawrence is putting a new video, but I always like to give it a couple of days before I react to 6 American things I can no longer live without. You know what? My friends, should I watch that? Leave me the number 6 if I should watch that, because I feel like could be a lot of fun. But yeah, overall this was quite amazing. I was aware that the pumpkin flavor and all the activities that start, I would say in October, right? Go really crazy until the end of the year, but I think that makes America such a special and unique place that I tend to love. So yeah, my friends, thank you so much for watching this with me. Really means a lot. You end up staying until the end. See you in the next one.